All right, everybody, welcome to class today. So obviously I'm not here this afternoon. I have a doctor's appointment that I didn't know I had to schedule until last night. So I apologize for being out, kind of, but you'll be fine without me. So here's what you're going to do today. You're going to do a content burst where I'm going to talk to you. You're going to do a quick sketch and tell, and then you're going to have time to work on things. Um, so don't forget, wear white tomorrow. And make a donation, make a difference day donations. And if you look at the very bottom of that, civics exam is coming sooner than you think. It's in about 3 weeks, and we're going to start planning that. But all of this stuff we're about to talk about in these next couple of weeks, it's all on here. So pay close attention to this stuff. So real quick, you have a sheet of paper in front of you that says Thursday, October 9th, 2025. And the first thing you're going to do is a separation of powers sketch and tell. And before we begin, I want you to think about, are the powers divided up in our country? And just like Dwight Schrute up there thinking like, you're probably thinking the same thing. Like, of course they are. Otherwise I wouldn't be asking you, right? So when the Constitution was adopted in 1787, they divided the powers. And the Constitution, all it is the supreme law of our land. It's the document that sets up our government. And for this government, this document, the main idea is self-government, that above all else, the people rule the nation. And they do that through voting for representatives. And we'll talk about that, and we'll talk about how in a little while. But the representatives they vote for are separated into different branches and levels. And it's all based upon some of the principles of the Constitution. When we talk about principles, I'm not talking about that guy up there, Mr. Stoltzfus. I'm talking about guiding beliefs that the founding fathers had, their values, right? And these are the ideas upon which the nation was founded. So the first of these guiding beliefs, these principles, was a separation of powers. And this is what I'm going to ask you to sketch and tell in a little bit, is to tell me what separation of powers would be. And there's a couple different ways that we do this. First, the way to know right off the bat, our founding fathers seemed to be obsessed with dividing power. They wanted to make sure that no one person or body of government had too much power. That's what they thought the King of England had. So they divided the power in a couple different ways. The first way they divided is into levels of federalism. So they divide the power into national government, where the federal or national government is responsible for creating certain laws that everyone must follow, but most of the laws are led up to the individual states, right? So if you look along the left-hand side there, it talks about the powers of the national government. They're the bigger ones: coining money, declaring war, treaties, rules for immigration. On the right-hand side, the state governments, they're the laws that probably impact your daily life a little bit more, like marriage laws, traffic standards, schools, those different things. Some states do have some crazy laws, right? Miss Boyd put this together, and there's some funny ones on here. So like if you travel to Tennessee, be sure you don't share your Netflix password. That's illegal. If you plan on selling one of your eyeballs, don't go to Texas to do that. That's illegal. And finally, when you go to Oregon, if you're hunting, stay out of cemeteries, because you can't hunt in cemeteries. So not only is power divided into levels, national, state, and local governments, our national government especially, but all governments really are divided into branches of government too. So they'll separate the powers again, separate into levels, and they separate it into branches. And when it comes to our national government, there are three branches. We have the legislative branch, who's Congress. They make the laws. The executive branch, which is like the president, the vice president, and the cabinet, they carry out the laws. And the judicial branch, they're the Supreme Court, and they are the ones who interpret the laws. So what I'd like you to do is pause the video in a second, and you're going to draw a quick little sketch and tell of what separation of powers means. So remember, when we talk about separating powers, they divide the power of the government into a couple different ways. Levels, with federalism, they have national, state, local, divide powers that way. And then branches, legislative, judicial, executive branch, they divide the powers that way. So take a few minutes, pause this, draw a sketch, and explain the sketch. All right, great. Hopefully you paused it after my awkward pause on the video, and now it's time to do some work on your own. If you look at the bottom of your sheet, you have three things to do today. The first thing, number 29, compromises cyber sandwich. Finish your paragraph from yesterday. Your goal is to finish your paragraph and then submit it to the Google Classroom. If you look, I made a copy of a slide for you. You can see those directions. If you're not sure how to turn it in, talk to me tomorrow or send me an email and I can help you with it. It's no big deal. Just write the paragraph, make sure you have it done. The second thing says number 31, 3 branches, master your grid. And this is what it looks like on your Google Classroom. So you're going to look at the branches of government over the next week or so in class. And this is what you're going to do is you're going to follow this little learning path. So at some point today, you should watch one of those three videos: legislative, judicial, or executive branch. It's up to you. But I would start with the legislative branch just because you can. As you watch the video, you see there are notes to take. It's questions to answer. I have an electronic copy made for you in the Google Classroom, and there's also hard copies on the shelf underneath the meme poster by where the small shelves by my desk. So check that out if you need to. But your job is to complete one of them. So here's your job today, right? Don't forget, complete your number 29 cyber sandwich. You must do that. You should finish a level 1, and you can add those things to your My American Story site to stay on track of things. Now, don't forget, period 7 and 8 especially, we have no class tomorrow. So you really can't afford to waste time. All right. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Be respectful, be responsible, and take care of yourself today. See you tomorrow, guys.